Alrighty guys, welcome back to our next episode here of Monkey Hero Adventures. We are going to be picking up where we left off and pushing towards the end of A Realm Reborn. We are now into 2.5. This is the last full patch, 2.5 into 2.55. I do not believe we will finish all of it here in one video, but we will get most of it or a lot of it done. And we're going to start and we'll see how far we go. Alright, let's go. Good intentions. I am most eager to address the Ascian threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Lest you forget, Antecedent, the Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. We were not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason. True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Monkey in particular is ever a steadying hand who I trust will continue to support the Braves.
Yes, I will.
To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Ul'dah? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Suffice it to say, Teleji Adeleji and his Monorous ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with the ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Raubon needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I am to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so, for the foreseeable future, I think it would be best if I were to remain in Ul'dah, unless you have an objection. None whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Moonbreeda's research is proceeding as planned? So she tells me, though I am not familiar with the details. Urianger is poring over his tomes at the Waking Sand, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it's only a matter of time. Monkey, while we focus on that task, mayhap you could assist Alphino and his braves with theirs. It would do much to restore faith in the Immortal Flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Riol's latest report. He has proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others wish kept secret, hence why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Ul'dah riots. When you are finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once if in the usual fashion. Let's go speak with Riol. Pleasure as always, Monkey. You'll be escorting the commander to Ul'dah, I take it? Actually, I had another task in mind for him. If you'd be so kind as to repeat your report for his benefit. Right then. Me and mine been making some inquiries into the source of the weapons that found their ways into the refugees' hands a ways back. So happens we caught wind of something promising. A rather large purchase of sharp pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near Highbridge. I doubt this man would have secured such quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients waiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer that this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind that merchant who caught an arrow while taking a monkey donut. Generous fellow, he was, doling out swords and spears to downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say these clients have the same mischief in mind, but if you want to be sure, it might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods, savvy? Seizing weapons before they fall in the wrong hands would be the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the black marketeer as well as his clients. What say you, monkey? Then it's settled. Rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at Highbridge, and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Ul'dah. I expect good tidings. Ah, monkey. My scouts have been keeping close eye on the black marketeer. It would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem that he's hired more than a few men to stand guard. Common thugs of no consequence, but they nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. This is far beneath a man of your standing, and Commander Levieur needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, 'tis only natural that he would come to rely on you without hesitation. Now then, we should make for the burning wall without delay and secure those weapons. The first unit will ensure that the clients do not escape. With me, monkey. I spy on one man, but there's sure to be others. I have a plan. While you approach the sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the black marketeer unawares. Once you've disposed of the thugs, wait for us outside the tunnel entrance. Any questions? Let us be off. Good luck, my friend. Who goes there? An adventurer? Damned fool. You never should have come here. Oh, my friend. I don't understand. What's this all about? Ah! As you can see, this is a fine mess. When I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out. But before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the result. How foolish of me to underestimate the bastard, and to bring an inexperienced recruit. Commander Leviot will be most disappointed. Damn it all! A golden opportunity wasted. As for the clients, though we know not how, they slip past our perimeter. At present, the first is currently tracking a party of dusk-white sellswords we suspect may be them. What would we could have enlisted the aid of the immortal flames or the brass blades? Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. Well, at the very least we have secured the weapons, yet even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we received indicated a massive shipment, and this is anything but. I will join the first in the hunt for the dusk-white sellswords. If gods are good, we will catch them before they escape to the Black Shroud. In the meantime, I'll ask you to deliver these weapons to Ul'dah in my stead. Entrust them to the third Yu Hase. He will take care of the rest. Ah, Warrior Light, ever reliable friend of the Crystal Braves. You have my deepest thanks for your assistance in Quarthus. Now, what brings you to us this day? A gift of weapons from a certain black marketeer, courtesy of Captain Ilberd, you say? Understood. We have cataloged the contents, and I'll have them delivered to the Hall of Flames. This cannot be everything, can it? Rio stated with confidence that there would be a far greater quantity of weapons. A blatant falsehood. Clearly Rio is unfamiliar with the ways of Ul'dah merchants, who ever strive to present themselves as greater than they are. We should be thankful that his information was not completely erroneous, and that we managed to achieve anything of worth at all. Is it still worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? It's still worth something worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? Besides, we got more important things to worry about, like fighting those Garleans up north. There'll be no fighting if I have anything to say about it. Our orders are to stand watch, not to seek glory in battle. If you have no further need of us, then I shall take my unit to the Cerulean processing plant. Time for the Fourth to earn their keep, eh? Fight well, Ascian, for the freedom of all. Excellent work as always, my friend. Rest assured that the immortal flames will hear of your contribution. Until we meet again. Monkey, a word if you please. Not here. Look for me at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. No need for whistling this time, don't you worry. Thanks for indulging me request. Few places are better than a market privacy, I find. All the hustle and bustle and commerce means my conversations go unnoticed. I'll get to the point. At the Burning Wall, when you and Captain, interrupted the exchange, what happened? Tell me everything. Leave no detail out. That's not quite how the first told it. These Duskwights they were chasing. The latest word is they lost the trail. But you never saw 'em yourself. Not before the fighting started, and not after. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it in me bones. I'm not daft enough to be misled by some merchant's drunken boasts. Our information was reliable, goddammit. I know he purchased those weapons. As if I've never deciphered a moneylender's books, or had to follow a transaction back to its source. Did plenty of that back when the Braves was getting started. Believe me. The commander wanted assurances, and we weren't taking gil from the wrong sort of benefactors. Of course, these days the money flows like water, and the first and third get shiniest new toys. Forgive me, friend. Got a lot on my mind these days. And I appreciate you lending an ear. Right then. Best get back to it. Monkey, can you hear me? This is Tataru. Your presence is urgently requested at the Rising Stones. Please come and see me as soon as you're able. On my way, Tataru. Thank you for coming so quickly, Monkey. We've a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. A most, determined lady by all indications. Our guesses with the antecedent and the solar are present. Let's not keep them waiting any longer, shall we?
We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. I believe the two of you have met.
We have. I had hoped to speak with Commander Leveilleur as well, but I cannot afford to wait any longer. The Lord Commander sent me hither to request your aid in a matter of grave import.
You see now why I had Tataru summon you.
Now that we're all assembled, perhaps you would be good enough to elaborate on the nature of the matter which brought you to us.
The Observatorium's astrologians have sounded the alarm. Last night, the Dragonstar burned with an intensity not seen in 15 summers. Not since the Dravanians engaged the Empire in the Battle of Silvertear Skies.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
The old Curthan rhyme, aye. The brightening of the Dragonstar is said to accompany the roar of a great worm. The astrologians believe that it was Midgard Soma himself who cried out on this occasion.
After an absence of centuries, the King of Kings did return to lead his kind against the might of Garlemald. Only to fall in his duel with the Agrius, proud flagship of the Gallian fleet. Devoid of life, his corpse remaineth entwined about the Magitech monstrosity even unto this day.
Ariange has the right of it. Whatever this alteration in the Dragonstar portends, the Great Worm has shown no sign of life. Tataru, Have the Domans reported aught out of the ordinary?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Midgardsormr had roared, wouldn't we have heard it here in Revenant's Toll?
Roar is but a figure of speech. Dravanians can communicate in ways beyond our ken. It is for this very reason that we are forced to look for signs in the heavens. We cannot say with any confidence that a great worm roared at all, much less that it was Midgardsormr. Only by directly examining the Keeper of the Lake can we be certain. However, it will take too long to gain the Holy See's approval to dispatch the Temple Knights. Therefore, Sir Emric would entrust this task to you. Do you accept? We knew you would not disappoint us. Now, if you would excuse me, I must return and assist the Lord Commander. We have precious little time to prepare.
To prepare for what, pray tell?
When a great worm roars, his brethren cannot choose but answer. We prepare for battle.
Forgive me if I state aught which you already know, but I would ensure you that you understand the nature of your destination. As Urianger stated, what we now call the Keeper of the Lake is the wreckage of the Agrius, former flagship of the Imperial fleet, and the corpse of the worm responsible for its destruction. 15 years ago, as the next step in his campaign to subjugate Eorzea, Gaius found Baelsar attempted to seize control of Mordona. So massive was his force that all thought his victory was a foregone conclusion. But an unlikely ally came to Eorzea's aid that day. Midgardsormr, legendary guardian of Silvertear Falls, burst from beneath the waters of the lake and led a host of dragons against the Garlean airships overhead. In what would later become known as the Battle of Silvertear Skies, the Great Worm fell to countless airships before engaging the Agrius. In the ensuing struggle, the flagship's cerulean engines failed, and it tumbled into the lake below. Yet this victory came at a great cost, for the explosion which followed claimed the life of the Great Worm as well. That same explosion transferred Silvertear Falls into the desolate wasteland it is today, draining the lake of its waters and crystallizing aether from moms around. Yet a remnant of the lake remains, as at its center a constant reminder of this fateful day long ago. In accordance with Sir Emric's wishes, our Doman allies have been standing watch over the Keeper of the Lake. It would be wise to speak with them before investigating the wreckage yourself. Sure. Be careful, my friend. We know not what dangers await you within. Now, then, let us not neglect our own tasks. There is much to be done and precious little time to do it. Alright, Keeper of the Lake. Most likely with NPCs. Yay! Wonder if they had to make any changes to the fight because of the NPCs. I think I remember hearing they did on one of them. You're in luck, sir. I was about to send word to Revenant's Tale about the Garleans. Of late, I've seen small airships, likely from Castrum Sentry, come and go from the Keeper of the Lake, though I cannot say for certain at the distance. I believe they may be salvaging something from within the wreckage. The Castrum supply lines have been cut for some time, and I'd wager they're desperately in need of spare parts and other equipment. So it's true then. The Ishgardians honestly fear that the Great Worm might rise again. Well, from here that seems rather unlikely. But if it's assurances they want, you have no choice but to inspect the corpse in its entirety. Easier said than done, given the creatures which inhabit the wreckage and the aforementioned Garleans who won't take kindly to your presence. They're sure to fire upon an airship, so I'd advise a more stealthy approach. Take this boat and a few of your comrades to the base of the Agrius, then climb to the top. That's the only viable approach, I'd say. All right. Let's keep this lake. Here we go. I really do like this dungeon, and I like the fights in it. Or I used to. I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, but this is a great dungeon. It's a great story. The story from here on, even in A Realm Reborn, it's just magnificent. It's going to set up some really epic stuff. The story from here all the way through every expansion, it's just amazing. The fetch quests and little things like that really start to fade away. They really kind of hit their strides. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. Yeah, see, I think this is the one that I had to change. Oh yeah, this is completely different. So before they used to drop all these little those little things all over the ground, and you had to knock them to the outside of the arena with like AoE attacks. That was how you did that mechanic. And then you would try to face him so that he wouldn't be able to shoot him. It's a cool little change. I like it. Oh, that's different too. It didn't leave the stuff on the ground. All right, let's go.
Who treadeth now upon my bones, and waketh me from slumber sweet? Thou hast forgotten the face of thy lord. Remember, mortal, and fear me.
Oh, looks like this fight's different too. Because there used to be dragons here, and he would spawn them once you do 5% damage to him. And then you killed the dragons, and he'd go invincible. Phantom Kin. Okay, looks like he's gonna. Okay, this is very different. I don't really know what's happening here. Are they going to do like a charge attack across? Looks like maybe. Yep. Wow, this is not the same fight at all. Oh, here we go. There's 2 dragons, at least.
By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve. Speak, mortal, and I shall listen. Guided by a star. My people have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not Forgive. 7 children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end. Trickery is thy shield. This frail, ignoble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent. Fear not, mortal. I shall not harm thee. Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker. Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine. I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing. Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more. The covenant binds me to thee. I shall watch, listen, and wait. Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. penitent shall rejoice. The dragon song heraldeth a beginning and an end.
I was beginning to fear the worst. Were those explosions I saw? Ah, but you shouldn't waste time talking with me. Alphino left a message stating you were to return to the Rising Stones at once. Yeah, I'm gonna. Praise the 12, you are hale and whole. I came as soon as Minfilia informed me of Sir Emeric's request. You have completed your investigation in the Keeper of the Lake, I take it. Then I would hear your report. Yeah, you're gonna hear a report, alright. You conversed with Midgard Somer. I swear, were anyone else to make such a claim, I would regard it with considerable skepticism. Are we to understand that the worm did not perish, and has in sooth lain dormant for these past 15 years? Less a resurrection and more a rejuvenation, for he dwelleth in eternity, years passing as moments. Though his words were ambiguous at times, one statement left little room for interpretation. My people have heard the song, Ishgard shall burn. Clearly an attack is imminent. We must share this information with Sir Emeric immediately. However, we dare not divulge your conversation with Midgardsomer in its entirety. To even acknowledge that you heard the voice of a Dravanian is grave but necessary risk. But lest we forget, men have been executed as heretics for declaring as much. For your own protection and for the sake of our tenuous relationship with Ishgard, the truth cannot leave this room. As for how we shall present our revelation to Sir Emeric's emissary, you may leave that to me. Pray remain here for now. Is there something you're not telling us, Monkey? You seem different somehow. 'Tis almost as if you're missing something. Something important. "12 forfend. Midgardsomer stripped you of the blessing of light. Are you all right? How do you feel?" Like normal. I see. It is a relief to hear that you are otherwise unharmed. It beggars belief that any being could possess the power to deprive you of her blessing. Midgardsomer made mention of a covenant, did he not? One of the ancient myths regarding Silvertear Falls states that when the waters came into existence, so too did the great worm. Athic and Nimia, brother Time and Sister Fate, decreed that Midgardsomer ever watch over the source, from which all water and magic was said to flow. I wonder, what if this was the covenant of which he spoke, and 'twas not the gods with whom he treated, but Heidelin herself? Well, if he is watching over you as he claimed, Mayhap you will have an opportunity to ask. Let us keep this matter to ourselves. We do not wish to burden our friends needlessly. Art thou a pawn or master of thy fate? What hast thou wrought by thine own hands, mortal?
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Worm Lord and lived to tell the tale. I give thanks to Helone for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises. I must away, but we shall meet again soon.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?
The Ishgardians have warned the Dravanians for centuries, warred with, nay, nearly 1,000 years. In all that time, not once have their enemies breached their defenses and entered the city proper. Yet regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Midgardsormr who roared, a call to arms by one of the first brood cannot be ignored. Until such time as they choose to request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation at a distance, and pray that our fears are unfounded. Ere I forget, I believe Moonbrita has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume that there's been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. Alright, Miss Hottie, what you got going on? Oh, she's not in here. She was over to the left. I messed up. It's just Memphilia in here. And she's hot too, though. Memphilia, you cutie too. You ain't as cute as Moonbrita. All done with your taco dragons. Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head into the solar, shall we? Yeah, I went there. Like. See this little stuff right here? This is the stuff that doesn't happen anymore after Realm Reborn. Oh, hey, you wanted to talk to me? Yeah, walk 5 feet. Okay.
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking, I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute. Why didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? Aye, I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea. I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, But no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Ascians will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a Crystal Brave, you are yet a Scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangred and Papalymo shall accompany you. Ida and Yashtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white orosite.
Thank you, Arianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able. Go well, and be safe.
It would seem the events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I would wish it otherwise, I must ask you to head straight away to the processing plant. The 4th have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilbert will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at our headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Yep. Your duties take you to Northern Thanalan, do they not? Yeah. We, too, must say our farewells to the Rising Stones. For a time, Flamine travels to Ul'dah, and we shall serve as her escort. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it's my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scion's case. And past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fail. Ah, how extraordinary that my little Ascilla is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand at her side not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. A colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger even for one so familiar with her streets. Bah, woe betide the blackguard that has so much as glares in your direction, my lady. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way, then? Commander Levular sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Amalja. But returning to the task at hand. The Flames' reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Rabon's Push. Such a force is likely to be interested in only one thing: getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Garleans will be marching on us any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Edelstein that we might coordinate our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others you've arrived. No doubt it'll be welcome tidings. Sergeant Hero, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. Would that we sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. The civilian draftsmen you see here have come across some highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I've had my snappers take a close look, and our worst fears are confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design no less. By my order, the Flames stationed here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we are unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news from the latest movements of the Imperial Army. I would once again ask for your aid. And you have it, sir. We've been keeping a close eye on the Garlean garrison, and 'twould seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squads seen leaving Castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They will likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field to meet this assault head-on. I will apprise your fellow Scions of the situation, and am heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. Pray report to Lieutenant Ascian, and lend your much welcome strength to the counteroffensive. So I guess that's one of the quests they pulled out, was you had to go around looking for all the bombs and stuff. So that's cool. That's gone now. Glad to hear you're with us, Monkey. I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained. The Garleans have deployed a small force from Castro Meridian. Their main assembles in the North Dalamid's towns, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish to rush forward and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Ilbert! Greetings, Scion. Ugh. I understand the commander bids you and your fellows come lend the hands of the braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the force should have little trouble contending with the Garlean might thrown at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The third was getting restless holed up in Ul'dah, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defenses and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We've enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy from far beyond the walls. Aye, it will be best avoiding staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take the fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scion shall join the fourth and give battle to the main column. You're with the third then, Warrior of Light. Your job will be to intercept the squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. Sure. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuyuhasi. His scouts should have a rough idea where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. A pleasure to be fighting with you once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories won't pave the way, are wont to pave the way to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads to better conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well as cover more ground, and make sure we can root out the would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army Aton yourself, I've assigned you to your own areas to scour clean the enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. You seem grim, Scion. I'll take that to mean that between us, more than a few Garleans won't make it back to the castrum. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I would be a happy man if I never had to tussle with another of those Magitech horrors. It's time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the Fourth and let Lieutenant Eliane know the west is now clear. I would appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. Edelstein. Huh? Sergeant Hero, what news of the Garleans? They're all dead. Their raiding parties are no more, then. Excellent. The Amalja engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plan is no longer... Amajina, by the way. Engineers will be most relieved to hear the plan is no longer in immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. You must be anxious for word for your fellows. Lieutenant Ascian has reported a sound victory over the main column and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attentions to other duties. All but one, that is. The Rogadan lady with the large axe. 'Twould appear she has chosen to remain at the site of the battle. I know not what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but Northern Thanlin is no place to wander alone, even for a capable sort such as her. I would certainly feel better about things if you go check in on her before you continue on your way. Oh, Moon Brita, what you doing? Come here, my beautiful.
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe. I know. As Urianger never tires of reminding me, an axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed? The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
He senses me. A useful talent.
And Ascian, are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth, meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales. And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger. Oh!
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us? Nobrialis, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet, unconscious. But this staff, you say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
You're here. Master Louis Soir's staff is kept in the solar, isn't it? Quickly now.
You two.
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget.
My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed? The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
So this cannot be done with a group of NPCs. Let me see if I can get someone to help with it. Alright, it says 7 minutes if I can get somebody to do it. I don't want to forget about you. I love you. Well. Goofy. Alright, well, I guess we're just doing it the old-fashioned way. It popped. That wasn't that long of a wait. I was about to shout for just a random level 90 to see if they wanted to do it and run through it with me. But now you get to experience the full fight.
you're safe. Thank the 12.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come? Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, scions.
There will be no next time. This is the end.
What? What trickery is this? No. No! You cannot! No!
Use Tube Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free! Concentrate! Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light. Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me! I shall make you pay for your insolence!
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Moonbreeder, what are you doing?
Master Louisoix, I understand now. The choice you made. In death, there is life. Farewell, Urianger. You daft old coot.
Moonbreeder, no! You mustn't!
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
Nah, you dead, bitch.
Moonbreeder. She's gone.
I'd rather have Moonbreeder back.
You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead. This device is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minfilia, are you all right?
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
She gave her life to temper the Blade of Light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Urianger know?
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens, yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Charlayan motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louis Soir. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hitherto the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Charlayan behind, Master Louis Soir gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louis Soir I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louis Soir hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louis Soir's wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louis Soir's will before the end? The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
Never have I seen Oriange so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. We shall gather in the Charlian Manor to celebrate Moonbreeder's life and mourn her passing. Alright guys, that is going to be the end of this one. Kind of led off on a somber end, but we're going to have the conclusion on our next video. Will be the last one for Realm Reborn. It'll take us straight to the credits and into our first expansion. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.